When you scoped it out, did you know what it was at that point?
Yeah, I saw it on the couch.
Okay.
She laid her hands on her mother and felt her mother's cold, dead body. That's pretty hardcore. This is the woman that gave you life, and you maybe didn't directly take her life, but you helped the individual that did. It's really hard to understand. How could a child do this to her own mother? Is it possible that someone actually manipulated Carrie into this? The initial days of a romance often carry the sweetness of honey, yet the tale of Lloyd and Michelle holds even more intriguing mysteries. In 1989, while they were both high school students, they crossed paths, igniting the flames of love. In 1991, they made the decision to embark on marriage. With 3 daughters, and the middle one named Carrie, who is a pivotal part of this narrative, their family grew. Carrie shared a special bond with her father, Lloyd, who would routinely take her to ballet class every Saturday. Later on, they relocated to the town of Corning, New York. Beneath the feeble sunlight, amidst the chilly winds of mystery, their journey into darkness has only just begun. Michelle, who held a master's degree in literature, chose to be a full-time mother to her 3 children. As they grew older, she transitioned into teaching English and also worked at Corning Incorporated. She actively participated in charity work, assisting the homeless. Lloyd worked as a design engineer. Together, they were a happy family living in Corning, New York. However, when 2008 arrived, everything changed. While many described Lloyd as charming and talented, and sometimes even considered him a perfect father, the reality was quite different. He exhibited strictness and excessiveness towards his daughters, frequently imposing control and resorting to physical force. His marriage was far from peaceful. He often belittled and insulted his wife, Michelle. By the end of 2007, Michelle ceased communication with her parents, causing significant concern. She stated that Lloyd's directive prompted this action, attempting to isolate her from support networks. In 2008, Lloyd moved to New Jersey to work alone, leaving his family and filing for divorce. This underscores a serious issue, reflecting a family environment fraught with tension and estrangement. He left his family behind and filed for divorce. Lloyd demanded custody of all the children. He was relentless, filing 26 post-divorce motions, but attempted to evade child support responsibilities and made numerous false claims about Michelle to prove her an unfit mother. Michelle also had her own complaints about Lloyd. She said he was trying to turn their daughters against her. By this point, Carrie had started college. Their eldest daughter lived with Lloyd, and their youngest, aged 14, lived with Michelle. It's heartbreaking to see a once loving family become entangled in such bitter conflicts. According to their primary theory, Athena may have left the house and become lost in the darkness, prompting them to concentrate all their effort in that area. They also entered the possibility of abduction, but found no corroborated. There were no indications of forced entry in the house, and Elizabeth did not hear any noises or screams. Furthermore, none of the neighbors reported witnessing anything suspicious. The police received assistance in their search efforts from the girls' relatives and concerned residents of the town. Athena's mother hurried there as soon as she was informed of her daughter's disappearance. When the police arrived, they discovered that Michelle had died and there was no one else at home. Her body had a rope wrapped around her neck. Initially, the police thought she had committed suicide. However, they later noticed a wound on her chin, indicating that the rope had been forcefully pulled from behind her head. Michelle was found hanging from a banister inside her house without leaving any letter or note to explain her actions. Despite the absence of signs of depression, this incident still caused a lot of concern and puzzlement among everyone. Concerned about the safety of the 14-year-old daughter, who they knew was living with her mother, the police began searching for the girl. Fortunately, they received a call from Carrie, stating that her younger sister was with her in Rochester, New York. That distance was about 100 miles from Corning. Carrie told the police she had gone to Corning to spend one last night in her bedroom at her mother's house. When her mother got angry at her for siding with her father, Carrie took her younger sister back to Rochester. When the police interviewed Carrie's younger sister, she remembered hearing her mother scream. Additionally, Carrie's cell phone records showed she was at Michelle's house for 2 hours, even though she claimed she had only stayed for about 15 to 20 minutes. The medical examiner couldn't determine the cause of Michelle's death. These events prompted the police to start investigating and suspect there was more to the story. They found out that although Lloyd was in California when Michelle was found dead, he had been in Rochester with Carrie the day before. Carrie said she helped him move his things into her apartment, and then he checked into a hotel. Then he left the hotel to attend the interview in California. The police found this to be unusual. Just within 36 hours of Michelle's death, Lloyd showed up at the courthouse to terminate his child support and alimony payments, which he had been paying almost $6,000 a month to Michelle. This raised suspicions among the police. They sought him out and asked him some questions. The police recorded their conversation as he sat in the police cruiser.
I know of that from past behaviors, that there was an occasion where Michelle was having a tantrum, that she would open the door and scream things down the stairs and then slam her bedroom door. She did that so many times. She actually broke the door frame from doing that.
His story mirrored Carrie's. However, when the police reviewed surveillance footage from the hotel, they noticed something peculiar. Lloyd had checked into the hotel, but they observed him leaving with his daughter and seemingly getting into a vehicle. He was then captured on camera in the hotel parking lot early the next morning at 6:30 a.m. He was still wearing the same outfit. Cell phone data from Lloyd's phone indicated that the phone remained in the hotel room all night, suggesting he left his phone there. However, Lloyd himself was not present. Additionally, Lloyd tried to claim money from a life insurance policy covering Michelle, worth $260,000. The police found that Lloyd was over $100,000 in debt. The police were suspicious of both Lloyd and Carrie, but at this point, there wasn't nearly enough evidence to arrest them. They arranged for Carrie to meet with them, hoping she would say something incriminating to her father. This tactic was partly successful. A conversation between Lloyd and Carrie was recorded.
Can you tell us what you observed, what you remember? Who went in the house first?
Dad went in the house. Well, we went in the house at the same time.
Okay.
And then, wait. No, that's a lie. I'm sorry. I went in the house. Scoped it out, and I went back to my car.
When you scoped it out, did you know what was at that point?
Yeah, I saw it on the couch.
Okay.
During which they appeared to be worried about the police's curiosity. Moreover, Lloyd asked Carrie to lie to the police. He conspired with his daughter to plot the murder of her own mother, then ordered her to cry in front of the police to avoid questioning. This action is cruel and despicable. The fact that a father not only planned the killing of his own wife but also used his daughter to carry out such a heinous act is truly shocking and heartbreaking. It is a manifestation of utmost cruelty and lack of humanity, making one deeply saddened at the extent of brutality and contempt that humans are capable of. Although the pair didn't say anything particularly incriminating, it was enough to prompt the police to continue the investigation. They believed that something was going on, possibly involving a criminal act. Around this time, another medical examiner determined Michelle's death as a homicide. Initially, the cause of death was undetermined, but now it was classified as a homicide. The police interviewed both Lloyd and Carrie. Lloyd was in New Jersey while Carrie was in New York. Lloyd didn't change his story. Lloyd didn't change his story when questioned by the police. He even agreed to take a lie detector test. Carrie, his daughter, couldn't keep calm under pressure and eventually told the police everything. She recounted how her father approached her, expressing his inability to continue paying Michelle and threatening to end his life unless he killed Michelle. Carrie agreed to help her father, and they conspired to commit murder. Both of them went to Michelle's house, where Carrie disabled the security devices to allow her father to enter undetected. After a heated argument, Lloyd killed Michelle and staged the scene to look like a suicide. Carrie even assisted him in orchestrating the crime. Lloyd then escaped out the back of the house and got into Carrie's SUV to avoid being detected by his little daughter. Lloyd killed Michelle and then staged a fake scene to make it look like she hanged herself. They dragged Michelle around the room corner, and he tied the rope to a banister, then lifted and placed, threw Michelle over the side. Carrie, Lloyd's daughter, eventually confessed that she helped Lloyd, meaning she touched her mother's body to assist her biological father in creating that horrifying scene. Afterward, Lloyd stealthily left the house and got into Carrie's SUV to avoid attracting the attention of his 14-year-old daughter. Meanwhile, Carrie drove back home with her little sister, unaware that Lloyd was hiding in the car. Carrie's little sister also had no idea about Lloyd's presence, as she had been asleep for most of the time, and Carrie had managed to distract her during the remaining time despite hearing her mother's cries for help. Lloyd was charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, tampering with physical evidence, and interference with custody rights. The police planned to arrest Lloyd when he showed up for the polygraph test. However, he didn't show up. Instead, They found him standing on the stairs of a 5-story parking garage, threatening to jump. The police had to act quickly to prevent a terrifying tragedy. The police talked to him for about 90 minutes. At one point, he turned his back on an officer who quickly tackled him. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and a number of other charges, including first-degree burglary and second-degree conspiracy. He accepted the plea deal and was ultimately sentenced to life in prison without parole. As for Carrie, after agreeing to plead guilty to second-degree murder, she was only sentenced to 1 to 3 years in prison. Carrie's lenient sentence does not reflect the seriousness of her involvement. She repeatedly lied to investigators over an extended period, indicating a lack of remorse and accountability. This behavior suggests a deeper level of culpability than what her sentence portrays. Furthermore, Carrie's sentence is significantly lighter compared to Lloyd's, who actually carried out the act of murder. The disparity in sentencing is not supported by the evidence and undermines faith in the justice system. However, allowing her to receive a better plea deal could be seen as a direct consequence of her cooperation in the investigation and testimony. Please share your thoughts on this story in the comments section, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching.